Gotta get my brain working.
Hola a todos, es martes 25 de enero de 2021 y esta es el 4 podcast de Equivocado, and I'm your host RJ, and joining me as always is Keith. Say hi, Keith.
Hola, Keith.
Did I mostly get it?
Yeah, it was fine.
Fucking
¿Cómo estás?
Yo soy, así.
Okay. ¿Qué quieres? What do you needed? What we doing?
I mean, I went to work. I was up until 5:30 this morning after the football game.
Were you crying?
No, I was talking to people and
being sad.
Not taking my brain drugs and therefore being up for forever.
Literally having like a intoxicated manic episode right before you have to go to work.
Tequila's great. Like, it's an upper for me, so. Hence the Spanish, although those things are actually totally unrelated.
Very unrelated. I just felt like hearing it in Spanish.
Just, hey, we tried, I figured I'd reach out for once, sound like a white boy. You'd be like, that's a gringo right there.
It is, yeah. No, but we're all about inclusivity.
Yeah.
Fourth and wrong.
So, yeah, you know.
Next week, we'll do it in German.
There will not be a next week. No, just kidding. There will probably be a next week. Also, I'm not doing that in German. I don't need my last name Braun associated with anything to do with me yelling in German about Guten Tag! Yeah, no, we're not doing that.
I mean, but I could probably do it in German.
Well, yeah, you've probably also actually spoken German. I have technically spoken Spanish, but it was with C's and D's, but, you know.
Gotcha, yeah. No. Yeah, I took German in college and lived in Germany I didn't live there. I was in Germany for a couple of weeks in my army days. Mm-hmm. I got really good at asking for another beer.
Dos cervezas, por favor.
Yeah, that'll work too.
German's no surprise. This is a German 3.
Which is total bullshit, by the way.
Well.
What a contrived plot point.
One would argue they've gotten rid of a lot of things they used to do. Anyways, we're here to talk about football. And our sick Punisher shirts.
Hell yeah. Mic check 1312.
Mic check 1312. If you're not with it, you're against it. As far as I'm concerned. There's no Browns to talk about this weekend, or this week.
There is technically no Browns to talk about this week.
So we'll get right into the end of my season.
Because it was an end.
The Bills made it to the AFC Championship game. They did not have the goods to deliver, and it kind of felt like they never did. I'll be perfectly honest with you. It was like, all right, we had a drive, we kicked a field goal, that was great, and then we had a drive, and then as soon as Tyler Bass missed that extra point, I was like, that's it. It kind of felt like it was like, you can't fuck up against these guys. And even early, we had one slight misstep, and Now we have this picture, which is great and really endearing and like very sweet, and is a great look forward to future years. But it doesn't help us right now.
No, especially because both of us are now going to be watching the rest of the postseason at home. Kevin Stefanski is going to go back to his basement where he's had the most success.
Sean
I don't know.
McDermott's gonna do something.
He's gonna do something. Yeah. Ugly game from the Bills' offensive side of the ball. I think defensively it seemed pretty standard from the Bills. But,
It was like fine, but not enough.
Yeah, but like offensively, like once again, I felt like Josh Allen could never get comfortable, and we've been saying that all postseason.
He doesn't seem comfortable.
Yeah, he just doesn't seem comfortable. The pass rush got to him. He was sacked 4 times. He was constantly moving, being flushed around the pocket. We saw a little bit of rookie Josh Allen, of him throwing some pretty ugly balls. Like he gave a couple of gifts to Kansas City that they just happened to drop.
Yeah.
So like his 1 interception should have been like 3.
He also, I was gonna say, had a tendency to throw into double or better coverage, where it's like that's not the look, dog.
Yeah, especially when you got Cole Beasley on a breaking route underneath, wide the fuck naked open with his broken fibula ass.
I was gonna say, breaking route, like his leg.
Yeah. But I mean, credit to Kansas City's secondary too, because we'd been talking all season and going into the postseason where like Kansas City's defense doesn't necessarily worry us that much.
But it was enough.
They did everything right when it came to covering the Bills' weapons, because obviously the Bills went away from the rushing game relatively quickly like they normally do, and they just clamped down on the receivers, and most of those pressures and sacks were coverage sacks. Nobody could get open.
Top 2 draft picks next year, fucking tight end and running back.
Yeah. And then figure out something to get Josh Allen more comfortable behind that O-line.
Yeah, more O-linemen from somewhere else.
Yeah, less getting rid of players like Wyatt Teller.
Yeah, fucking seriously. Like the number of times Wyatt Teller has been brought up in the last week, just like in our Discord discussions and stuff, has been tremendous, because it's just like, oh, Wyatt Teller's got like a 91 Madden card. Oh, Wyatt Teller's like over here and this and that and stuff.
Yeah,
and it's just
Pro
like,
Football Focus has him ranked the number 2 guard in the league.
Yeah,
and he rode y'all's bench.
Yeah.
So I don't know who you got over there valuing linemen, but
that's Brandon Beane, Executive of the Year. Brandon Beane, thank you very much.
Okay, all right.
According to some outlets,
we got Coach Callahan, offensive line coach. We don't need no Andrew Berry.
Yeah,
he makes offensive line G's.
But
what'd you notice? Tell me about the game a little bit.
Kind of like you were saying, Josh never felt comfortable. We weren't. I should pull up the stats, but like we weren't getting the deliverables where they should be. Now, what we're learning now is that Cole Beasley, for one, has been playing, as we alluded to a couple minutes ago. Cole Beasley's been playing on a broken fibula since week 16. And you're the EMT guy, so what does a broken fibula really mean?
So your leg down here, okay? You got 2 bones on this part. You got the shin part, which is your tibia, and then the second bone that's underneath your calf is your fibula. So what that means is he broke the middle bone without breaking the main bone, so he could still support weight. And I mean, it's gonna hurt like a son of a bitch, but unless you get imaging done, like even imaging, if it's a hairline fracture or something like that, it's not gonna show anything. So they could treat it as, you know, a muscle strain, a bone bruise. But having just one supporting bone of the lower leg fracture and not the other is difficult to diagnose if it's a smaller fracture. And from what I could tell from the reports, it's a smaller fracture. So they're
it's probably like a stress fracture or something.
Yeah,
like
a hairline or a stress fracture. They're really difficult to see on X-ray. And if the guy says he can play on it, you pretty much got to take his word for it. Yeah. They were obviously aware that something more severe was going on at the end of this game, obviously, because now we have an official diagnosis. Because, you know, the NFL's rules, state, injuries have to be disclosed on an injury report.
Oh, it's just like he's got a leg.
Yeah, so they just called it a leg because that's all it was, all the way up until yesterday when the news broke, or today when the news broke, that no, that shit was broke, and he's been playing. He's been playing on it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games.
Yeah, well,
16.
I think we sat him. I think we sat him week 17.
Okay, so he had 4 games.
But then, well, it was only 2. It would only be 2 past then, right? Okay. This being the third wild card weekend, divisional round against the Ravens, and then now.
And then now, yeah. So even 3 games on a fractured anything.
On a broken goddamn leg.
Yeah, like you can call it as severe as unsevere as you want. It's still a broken fucking leg.
Yeah.
And if anybody out there has ever broken anything, that shit don't fucking feel good.
No. So and Cole Beasley led the team in receiving yards, so
Yeah. So he played through it, as we like to say. Maybe that's probably one he shouldn't have played through, but it wasn't severe enough to take him off the field. And
hey, we were in the AFC Championship, baby. We were making a Super Bowl run.
Yep. And the only information they keep giving is it's a partially broken fibula, and what that normally means is either stress, hairline fracture, or it's just a partial fracture. It wasn't a complete fracture. Right. But the weird thing is when it happened in week 16, they actually classified it as a knee injury. So I'm almost...
I think it is because it was like the upper part of the bone.
Yeah, so I'm almost certain that he just had a partial fracture of what's called the tibial, or the fibrillar head, which is the head of the bone that the cartilage and connective tissue attached to.
That's a bad place to have a fracture, though.
It really is. That slots into that hinge joint on your femur, but it's wrapped in connective and supportive tissue versus a long bone fracture. So they're harder to diagnose and they're harder to treat and figure out what's actually going on. Versus a long bone fracture where it's just muscle and the shit's broke.
Yeah.
So as always, don't like seeing good players hurt. T's and P's. Looks like he's not going to have surgery, but he's going to stay off of it for a little bit. He'll be back. He'll be back
next year.
Yep. When y'all go to the Super Bowl all the way this time.
Yeah. This was kind of a disappointing game. I mean, it's not a great game for the Bills when the leading rusher is Josh Allen for 88 yards.
Mm-hmm.
That's maybe a bad sign.
Yeah, and maybe 2 of those were designed runs, 2 or 3 that I remember.
Yeah.
Were like QB draws. The rest were him just getting the fuck out of Dodge.
And it seemed like basically... It kind of seemed like the Chiefs did to us what we did to the Ravens, where it was just like, bring the fucking heat and make him throw it. And Josh just, either we don't have the weapons or, Josh doesn't quite have it yet, but...
Well, in the coverage, and like I said, we keep coming back to, Kansas City's secondary was playing lights out. Like, you guys have the weapons. You guys have Stephon Diggs and Cole Beasley back there. But they...
And a hopefully healthy John Brown, but also not guaranteed.
Right. And, their secondary is flying all over the fucking place, making good plays, forcing, and then, that pass rush was forcing Josh Allen to make some bad throws to where they could play some really good opportunistic secondary.
Yeah.
Like I said, that 1 interception should have been 3. It was a little bit of a reversion to Josh Allen of the past.
A regression?
Yeah. I wouldn't call it a full-blown regression, but he reverted.
When Hero Josh shows up, there's only one version of him.
Yeah.
And he forgets all of his fucking mechanics.
And just fucking yeets that bitch.
Yeah. Tyreek Hill, 172 yards. Travis Kelce, 118 yards. I told you that we were going to have to stop Travis Kelce. He also got 2 touchdowns on the game. Tyreek Hill was just busting the game wide open. Like, he didn't have any scores himself, but he was just constantly there to be the... Like, especially late in the game, it was like it was like 1st and 10, 1st and 10, 1st and 10, 1st and 10. And it's like they're getting like 11 or 12 yards every single play. And it was just over at that point.
Yeah, very early in the game, Buffalo's defense was kind of doing what they needed to do, which was keep players like Tyreek Hill in front of them. You know, let Tyreek Hill get 6 yards. Don't let him get 12, you know.
Right.
Let him get 8. Don't let him get 19. Keep the plays in front of them. And then, like, in that second quarter, and especially after halftime going into the second half, like, Kansas City made a little bit of an adjustment before the end of the half. And just, like, that second quarter, they just broke open. They just broke the whole game open.
Yeah. I mean, it went from 9-0 to we put up 3, they put up 21. And it was just like, oh, they did that thing that the Chiefs do.
Yeah, they won't maintain steady drives. They'll score in bunches and quickly. Like, because you guys, I mean, y'all were getting stops.
Yeah.
And then they would score in
and
then they'd score in 6 plays on their next drive. The Chiefs are fucking bipolar.
Hey.
But
yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me to say a lot about this game, which is unfortunate because it's like one of our final episodes of this season, and also, you know, the Bills made it this far. But it's just like whatever game plan they had, it just like it wasn't there. The Bills haven't had a running game all season. There wasn't like a second gear or like an alternate route or anything they could have taken. Like we had Devontae Freeman. Did Devontae Freeman even get activated or actually touch the ball this game? The answer is no. We had Kenny Stills that was actually called up from the practice squad. I texted you about this, and I was like, hey, maybe they dialed something up. Maybe they've got something. No, he didn't touch the ball. So,
yeah, it seemed very bog standard.
Yeah, they went with the stock standard. They went with the chalk, and the chalk said that Kansas City was a 3-point favorite. And it was more than right. So, you know, we had a good run this season. I hope we draft well with how shitty even college football fucking went this year. Right. I hope we get a few pieces, honestly, on offense, but also like along the defensive line. Like we got some pressure these last couple of games, but you know, AJ Epinesa is not suddenly like a top caliber fucking end or anything.
Right.
Flash forward 3 years when he pulls a Trey White and like is the best goddamn defensive end in the league or something.
Yeah.
But, you know, right now in this moment, we were projected to take him in the first round. We traded that away for Stephon Diggs, which is still the best trade we've ever made in franchise history. And he becomes the second round pick that fell to us, but still like the void between him and like a Chase Young is like generational gap.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like, oh, these guys are kind of close, they deserve to be drafted in the same round. It's like, yo,
no,
that guy's a defensive end, and this guy is like maybe a run stopper, maybe. But I don't know. I mean, I guess overall reflections from this year, the Bills did a lot. I think we've made a case for free agents that Buffalo is a place to be, that we are an actual contender. I mean, we made it to the AFC Championship game. Only 2 teams in the AFC do that. Only 4 teams total make it to championship games before the Super Bowl. So, you know, it was Mahomes, Rodgers, Brady, and Allen. And if you looked back 2 years ago, everybody would fucking laugh at you if you said Allen was going to be in that mix. Yep. So, there's room to grow. hopefully they learn from this. Stephon Diggs, stood on the field and watched the entire Kansas City Chiefs celebration until Sean McDermott went back out onto the field to pull him into the locker room.
Oh, like the trophy stuff.
Yeah,
and everything. Yeah.
So I mean, I think Diggs is hungry. I mean, we could see him go for 2,000. We could see a 2,000-yard wide receiver next year because he just wants it.
Yes.
That'll also be, I think, John Brown's last year is next year on his contract. I think Cole Beasley we've still got for 2. But this offense is going to be together. Brian Dable is going to be there to call the offense, for better or worse. This is one of those times where it feels like we're slipping back into old Dayball of a couple years ago when everybody was shitting on his play calling. And I mean, I don't know. If we can't get it done here, then, I have to call into question. Yeah, maybe you do go get a head coaching job somewhere else.
Yeah.
But it's also knee-jerk. The game was yesterday. I haven't had time to, sit on it or watch, all 22 or anything like that.
Right.
So we're gonna pump the brakes as far as get him out of time goes. But yeah,
and I think even with even with adjustments in play calling, once Kansas City started getting a little momentum, man, it looked like both teams were playing different sports. It's not like the Bills got destroyed, because they didn't, but the Kansas City was playing very effortlessly, and the Bills were literally having to grind for every single inch on
and then going
field.
for field goals.
And then going for field goals instead of, trying to actually win the biggest game of your career next to making the Super Bowl to go play the next biggest game of your career.
And that was the crazy shit, because they were like, oh, yeah, you take a field goal now, and then you only need 2 touchdowns with 2 two-point conversions and something else. And it's like, what are we doing, guys?
Yeah, the problem with that is there's only 4 minutes left.
Yeah.
And you gave Adam Reed and that offense the ball.
Andy Reid.
Yeah, Andy Reid and that offense the ball.
Adam
Reid.
And Eve Reid, the fucking... the apple chewers.
Fucking ruined it for everybody.
Yeah.
All just been chilling in the garden, man. Yeah, Andy Reid, giving Andy Reid the ball back when you're down by 2 scores with not a lot of time on the clock. And, how many times did I say it? I was like, Bills aren't getting this ball back.
Yeah,
they did, but
not with enough time to do anything.
Yeah, they didn't. It didn't help.
It's like you got the ball back after they scored again.
Yeah. Oh, goody! Hooray!
So
not a good showing from the Bills. Definitely not how you want to go out.
If we had the defense of the last 2 years when they were a top 3, top 5, then maybe we've got a better shot at this. We're competitive. I mean, as far as I know, the defense didn't get a takeaway. So
not that I'm aware of, no.
So
aside from that muff punt.
Yeah, dude, that was crazy. That was the thing where I was like, holy shit, we're getting that Browns luck. And the answer was no.
Yeah, no. The Chiefs and the Steelers are very different.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of the Bills for this season. And the AFC, as far as I fucking care about. I mean, the Chiefs will probably go on to beat Tampa Bay, I think. We want to take predictions now. I guess we're jumping ahead. I mean, we haven't even discussed the Green Bay-Tampa Bay game. But
we can.
Yeah, let's dive into that now.
Poor Aaron Rodgers. Holy fuck.
Did Aaron Rodgers deserve that game, or did he deserve a wide receiver instead of a quarterback drafted in the first round?
he deserved a coach with some fucking balls. Fucking. So, at the end of the game, they're down by 8. Or no, they were down by 11. No. They're down by 8.
Fact check.
Yeah. They're down by 8. They were on Tampa Bay's 35. Or no, they were on like Tampa Bay's like 15. With 2 minutes left in the game. And Matt LaFleur kicks a fucking field goal. So with giving the ball back to Tom Brady and Bruce Arians with only 2 minutes left. Tom Brady, literally the architect of sit on this bitch. With 2 minutes left.
It's like Tom Brady and Snorlax.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, in what world and I know that you got Tom Brady, or you got Aaron Rodgers back there, and you got decent offensive weapons, and the running game was doing okay.
In a world.
But in what fucking world do you think the best opportunity for you guys to win this game is to stop the Bucks? They started their drive with 2 minutes and 5 seconds, so at least they had the 2-minute warning and a couple of timeouts. But you stop the Bucks, either force the turnover, get the turnover, or they punt it away, and still have enough time, even with Aaron Rodgers, to get downfield and score. It is possible, but was that truly the most likely of scenarios? Versus going for it on 4th down, and you go for it on 4th down when you're on their fucking 10-yard line. If you score and get the 2-point conversion, now it's a tie game. If you turn it over on downs, they're pinned to the 10, and you're right back in that second scenario again, where you got to get the stop. But they're pinned in their territory. Yeah. Deep in their territory, where it's actually a little bit easier because they'll be less likely to put Tom Brady's slow ass back there to throw the ball just in case the pass rush gets to him. So, and like, what fucking world? It's the NFC Championship. You go for that shit, you know?
It's a
one-score game.
Yeah, I felt the same thing about our game, where it was just like, you're what? But you could just.
I remember making that comment when fucking Sean McDermott rolled out the fucking field goal team. I was like, they're Matt LaFleuring it. Just go for it. It's the end of the game. You have nothing to lose but the game. It was an ugly game from the Tom Brady side of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady, 3 touchdowns, 3 picks.
But they only scored like 6 points off of those interceptions.
Right, and that's really the big thing. Is like this game would have been. They would have walked away with it if they were able to actually convert those turnovers.
It's Tom Brady. You have to punish those failures. I mean, it's the only way you have a chance to win.
Yep. Like there is no other. Like that's how you beat Tom Brady. You have to play opportunistic football. When they give you a chance to stretch the lead, you stretch the lead.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of it being 6 points, if that was 21 points, like they got 3 touchdowns off those 3 picks instead of 2 field goals, we're looking at a completely different game. They had to put a lot on Aaron Rodgers' shoulders, and Tampa Bay's defense did decent. Aaron Rodgers had an ugly pick. Marquez Valdez-Scantling had himself a fucking game. Devontae Adams was kind of more quiet than we're used to seeing him, but he was still relatively productive. But like Green Bay just looked so
anemic.
Yeah, they just look so out of sync. It was. I wouldn't say Aaron Rodgers looked uncomfortable because it's fairly hard to make Aaron Rodgers look uncomfortable, but he definitely had to move a lot more than he would have liked. I mean, the guy was sacked 5 times.
Yeah.
That front four plus an extra rusher downfield was not doing Green Bay any fucking favors, and it basically Aaron Rodgers had to try to fucking win the game by doing some schoolyard bullshit for half of the game. Where the Buccaneers, aside from those turnovers, they were able to relatively stick to the game plan. You know, slam it downhill a couple of times with Leonard Fournette, and then let Chris Godwin and Mike Evans kind of take over the game, and then Gronk having a big, like his one reception of the game being for 30 fucking yards. Like, so getting big plays from key players, and then letting Chris Godwin and Mike Evans just stay consistent for you, and just kind of run out that clock the Tom Brady way, you know. Tampa Bay gave Green Bay every opportunity to win that game, and they did not capitalize. And that's obviously makes a lot of concern for Green Bay as they go into the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, definitely.
Because the Kansas City Chiefs are explosive enough to absolutely take advantage of those mistakes. And if their secondary plays anywhere remotely close to the level that they've played for against Buffalo and against the Browns, those receivers are going to be in for a treat. It's going to be tight to try to find those open spaces that Tom Brady likes to play.
And they like spreading it out with like a ton of wide receivers at this point. And it's just like, yeah, fucking find a place for us to pick you off.
Yep. So I'd like we're probably going to see a little more check down heavy offense coming out of Tampa Bay going into the Super Bowl, but still to this day 3 turnovers and they still won. You can't bet against Tom Brady, even though his defense totally bailed him out in this game. You can't bet against Tom Brady.
You got to back LaShawn McCoy at this point. He got a fucking ring with the Chiefs last year. He's on Tampa Bay this year. Chase the ring chaser.
Yeah, chase Shady McCoy. Whoever Shady's on's winning a Super Bowl. Now. Not when he played for the Bills, just now.
Yeah, just we had him at the end of his prime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a ton more to speak on. You got any nudes or anything?
Yeah, I got some nudes.
Send it.
Bring up my nudes list. Duels. So obviously there's extension talk in Cleveland, whether or not we're gonna pick up 5th-year options on Baker Mayfield or just go ahead and sign him to an extension. I think after this year, he's at least earned a serious consideration to just go ahead and extend him instead of the 5th-year option.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, and I think we need to go ahead and start looking at extension for Nick Chubb. Because he was a 2nd-round pick, so we don't have a 5th-year option on him.
Right.
So that's something that needs to happen. We still have Austin Cooper and Case Keenum tied up. And Jack Conklin tied up. Hopefully Grant Delpit is healthy coming into next year. Our linebacking core kind of overperformed. We need some help in the secondary. Odell can still be a playmaker. I hope we utilize him a little bit better. We owe him $14.5 million base salary. That's mostly guaranteed because of the injury. So, even though I don't want him to be traded, even if they decided that they do want to trade him, it's kind of an impractical contract to trade on right now with him dealing with the ACL because so much of his money is guaranteed because of the injury. But really the big thing that I want is I want Rashad Higgins on a long-term deal.
Hollywood.
So I can get some more Hollywood. That's kind of some the loose rumblings going on in Cleveland right now. Just going through the whole contract stuff. We still got plenty of cap space to play around with, so we'll see who we can keep around, who we got to cut. Odell and Saquon are rehabbing together for their injuries.
Saquads.
Yep, Saquads. So that's cute. But really, the big news of the week is Matthew Stafford getting the fuck out of Detroit.
Got to get the fuck out of Dodge.
Yeah, he is officially done, and he wants out.
Where do you think he ends up?
Why
is it Indianapolis?
Yeah, I was gonna say I would not be surprised if Indy takes a really good look at him. With the success that offensive core was able to have with Phillip Rivers back there, and the way that defense played.
Just have Stafford sling it. Just a different shade of blue. It's like Cole Beasley when he came over. He said, this shade of blue just looks better on me.
Yep, that's it. I wouldn't be surprised if, obviously the Patriots take a look. He would be a kind of he would he would be a quarterback that the Patriots would like. But it's I wouldn't be surprised if there's a quarterback shakeup in San Francisco with the 49ers.
Oh, does Stafford goes to the 49ers, Jimmy G goes back to the Patriots,
and Deshaun Watson goes to the Colts.
Goes to Miami.
And Tua goes to the Hall of Fame.
Uh-huh.
Because he's already proven enough for me.
Yeah. We know.
Rookie of the year, baby.
It's noted.
Tua Tagovailoa of the year.
He's not going to win that, but that's okay.
He is going to win Tua of the year.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
That's kind of an unfair award, but
yeah, I'm gonna send him a trophy and everything. You just watch.
We're not gonna expense that. You're gonna have to.
I can expense whatever I want.
I mean, yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All of this show is an expense.
Yeah, I mean, I can write it off on my taxes. I have a media company. I got an LLC, dog.
Are you using this podcast as a tax shelter? Is that what you're doing?
No, I'm using my computer business as a tax shelter.
Oh, okay.
That this just happens to be lumped into. So I can claim, like, the website hosting.
Have you made Fourth and Wrong a company without me knowing?
I mean, technically.
All right, well, this has been the Fourth and Wrong podcast for fucking January the 25th. We're going to do it in English, 2021. Say goodbye, Keith.
Goodbye, Keith. Well, how about you just start the show?
Hey, everybody. You're not ready for the show. You're
I'm
like
ready.
working on your rig.
No, I'm ready. I already got my notes pulled up and everything.
Okay.
I gave you the lead in.
I don't.
I fucking gave you the lead in. You son of a bitch.
Well, I mean, big dick editor guy.
We'll make it the lead in.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's not complicated. You didn't ask me if I was recording video again. I am now. Oh, we should do a clap sync.
I already did one.
You probably did it when the video was off.
No, I did.
Dickhead.
Here you go. Merry Christmas.
No, yeah, I'm definitely stopping there. You're
Oh.
getting hey everybody, it's Tuesday, and then I'm switching back to English.
No, it's Hola a todos.
Es martes.
Es martes 25 de año de 2021. Y este es el 4 podcast equivocado. I think that's it. I think I got that. I'm gonna put it in Google Translate.
God, this is just gonna go wrong.
Yeah. Hola a todos.
Hola a
es
todos, es martes 25 de enero. Y este el 4 podcast de equivocado. I'm your host, RJ, and joining me as always is Keith. ¿Cómo se hola, Keith?
Bueno,
Bueno.
¿qué quieres? What you needed?
All right, I'm gonna try this.
Okay.
I'm gonna try this. We'll see how it goes.
Okay. I'm proud of you.
Is it enero?
So what?
De enero.
De enero.
Enero. Okay. Hola.
Yeah.
Hola a todos. Es martes 25 de enero. Y este es el 4 podcast de equivocado. That's about right.
I mean, you didn't say the year, but
Oh, hey everybody's Tuesday the 20th. Yeah, all right. Hey everybody's Tuesday the 25th. 20.
hey everybody, it's Tuesday, January 25th, 2021, and this is the Fourth and Wrong podcast.
Hola a todos. Es martes 25 de enero.
25.
25
There you go.
de enero de 2020. Y este es el 4 podcast de equivocado.
Close enough. Just make sure you get the year right. 2021.
All right, yeah.
And then V's or B's in Spanish. It's 25. Martes
Right.
25 de enero.
20.
20.
It's been a hot minute. All right, we're gonna try this.
You got this.
We're gonna try this.
You got this.
Hola a todos. Es martes 25 de enero de 2020 y esta es el 4 de podcast equivocado. And joining me as always is Keith. Say hi, Keith. I'm your fuck. I have to say, and I'm your host RJ. And joining me as always is Keith. Yeah. All
Yeah.
right.
Close. One more time. You got this. That was pretty good, actually. Like it sounded like a white dude. It sounded like a white dude speaking Spanish, but the Spanish was good.
The Spanish was good. The Spanish makes sense.
Yeah.
That's what we're going with. All right. This is fun. This is different. I have something to actually like work off of as opposed to just getting myself overly hyped every time.
You're right. I gave you a task.
Hola a todos. Es martes 25.
25.
25. 25.
There you go.
Gotta bite my whole bottom lip.
Yeah,
Veinte.
you do. There's definitely a in it. 25.
25.
It's like rolling your R's.
De enero. Enero is right?
Yeah, Nero's right. De enero.
Okay. Hola, todos. Es martes 20. No. See, now I'm overthinking it.
Overthinking it.
Vente.
Just go. Yeah, just.
Hola, todos. All right, well, we gotta not
Sorry.
have both of us talking. Hola, todos. Es martes 25 enero de 2020. Y esta es la cuatro Got close.
You also said the wrong year again.
2021. What did I say, 2020?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Sweet.
Sweet. I'm great at this. This is all going in the outro, all of these fuck-ups. I found our out. I don't know how that's going to look at the end.